Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nonsense fans all over the world, my name's Robert Huddleston. Today's January 7th. Yesterday's a day that's going to, its images are literally going to outlive us all. Buffalo Bill doing front and double bicep down on the Senate floor, the Capitol building glowing with fires and riots all around it, and people chasing police up stairwells, images of a woman getting shot in the neck and dying. All that happened yesterday. Now, I don't know whether it was real. I don't know whether Buffalo Bill was a Trumper or an Antifa or a BLM or if he's QAnon himself. I don't know. I do know that we have crossed the Rubicon. Crossing the Rubicon is when Julius Caesar marched the 13th Legion into the Roman nation proper, not the city of Rome yet, but into what was considered prime Roman territory. And to do that was a wholly forbidden taboo, to march an army into striking distance of Rome. Once you do that, there's no going back. Hence the phrase, crossing the Rubicon means there's no going back. Julius marched the 13th Legion across the Rubicon. Ain't no going back. Okay? You can't ever walk them back. People now know your intentions. Ain't no going back from yesterday. The die's been cast. You're on one side or another. I have reasons for being on the side that I'm on that are probably not the reasons that most. I can't say that I support Trump anymore. I haven't supported Trump for a long time. I feel Owen Benjamin couldn't have been more right. He's a Judas goat. He was to distract all of the conservatives these past 4 years. So I don't want to say Trumpers or Bidenites. Conservatives spent the past 4 years thinking, well, our guy's in charge and trust the plan, and Q's gonna bring the new sun. Well, that didn't happen. All Trump did was stay on Twitter and keep getting banned by a gay guy my age named Jack Dorsey with a bunch of hardware in his face and a low T beard. Trump could have went and started Trumper. Billions of dollars at his disposal. He literally made Twitter. Like, Twitter was failing before Trump decided to get on it. He didn't do that. He didn't build a wall. Didn't lock nobody up. Gave $500 million to Israel so they could also have a COVID stimulus that you paid for. Sent $10 million to Pakistan for gender studies. I'm sure you've all heard that one. Every day of my life, every day of the Trump administration, NASA has received $56 million. Your money. Your children's money. Your children's money. And those are just the three off the top of my head that irk me. There's a list. It's $7 trillion long. Trump signed that. I mean, that he did what Obama and Bush did. He's their guy. This is all theater. I hate to say it. I wanted to believe in him. But that doesn't mean I now am a Bidenite or some far leftist. I still support a great deal of the ideas Trump ran on, and I support Trump supporters. Problem is most Trump supporters still don't see that Trump didn't support them. This isn't about Trump anymore. He played his role. They'll give him, and he will be rewarded well after this. He will probably get to start a media empire. And he won't have to do it with his money, if you dig what I'm saying. So now what? Now what? We've crossed the Rubicon into the Cold War for the Soviet states of America. Because the die's cast, there's two Americas. There's an America that sees 2020 as protests. And then there's an America that sees 2020 as anarchy. The same America that sees 2020 as protests, a lot of them see yesterday as terrorism that should be met with deadly violence. Great deal of the people that look back and saw anarchy the past year looked at yesterday and they're like, okay, well, the people are taking it to the top, and this is justice. Now, granted, a great deal of Trumpers don't think it was justice. They don't think it was a good thing. They don't believe yesterday was accomplishing anything physically, and then optically it was bad. Now, do I think yesterday accomplished anything? No. No, it didn't. Trump didn't remain president. We didn't actually take and hold anything. We just occupied it for a few hours. We the people. I wasn't there. I'm saying we as a broad sense. There was no real victory won, other than the Rubicon was crossed. That's a victory in itself. There's no going back. There's no dialing back now. People all over every social media they can get their hands on are declaring their utter disdain for the opposing side. The young woman was killed. Her name was Ashley Babbitt. She was 14, probably around my age. So I can't say young woman. She was a grown woman. Spent 14 years in the Air Force, deployed overseas 4 times. Got shot in the neck unarmed yesterday at the Capitol building as she looked through a window. You go on Facebook and everybody says, a lot of people, I can't say everybody, there's a back and forth. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Now, those tend to be the same people who are very upset that Jacob Blake got shot in the back 7 times while reaching for a knife, while being a rapist. These are the same people that don't care that a city's burned over George Floyd, who put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly. You put a gun to a pregnant woman's belly to rob her, you've signed your own death warrant, as far as I'm concerned. If you want to live in a world where men get to go, giant men, I'm 6 foot and I'm 200 pounds, right? Without a gun, there's not many women that can stop me from robbing them. George Floyd is 5 inches taller than me and 35 pounds heavier than me. He didn't have a belly, right? He was lean and muscular and long. And then took a loaded gun and pointed it towards a woman's belly and said, we're going to leisurely rob your house, and if you attempt to stop us, I'll kill you and your child. They gave him a memorial flag, and then they burned cities for him in his honor, that his death was such an outrage. Well, a woman yesterday who was a veteran, never, to my knowledge, committed a crime. She spent 14 years in the Air Force. George Floyd spent 14 years in prison. One of these people got exalted. One of these people is going to be called a terrorist. Those are 2 different Americas. I don't think there's a reconciliation. So like I said, I struggled with what to come on and say today. This isn't a call to arms. Don't go out in the street and fight today. Don't. Agenda 2030 is a long way off. There will be plenty of time for that. But this isn't say your prayers. I shouldn't have to be telling you to pray. I'm going to. You should be praying about this. About your role in this, what this means for the nation. But I don't just want to come on here and be like, all right, let us pray. And nothing else. No. Do some push-ups. Like I say, how do I give a soft call to, I'm going to say arms. A call to hands. Start working your hands. Start working your lungs. Start working your mind. Start working your spirit. Is there going to be some violence in the next decade? Yeah, there was some violence yesterday. Is a great deal of this not going to be violence? It's going to be social pressure. It's going to be civilized discomfort. I don't know. I'm sure it's going to do with the mask. I'm sure it's going to do with the V. These things will occur, and they will be catalysts. It's one of those things that if you see someone simply wearing a red hat, you're like, that's a Trumper. He doesn't vaccine. He doesn't mask. If you see me without a mask, there's a Trumper. He is a bigot. He is a racist. He is a homophobe. I'm going to look at you with your mask and your purple hair and say, there's a liberal idiot. There's a person who's not in touch with reality. There's a person who is live-action role-playing through their life. There's a person who's woefully uneducated. I'm going to say they're not true, but I'm pretty sure I'm true about them. Life is a sword that cuts both ways, right? But we've never felt so ready to look at somebody and say, I can see by your uniform. It's called a color revolution. What color are you wearing? Are you wearing the mask? It's a way to differentiate two teams. The teams aren't going anywhere. In fact, the chasm between the two sides is only going to grow. Now it's time to grow you. Grow those around you. Be aware that they've banned Trump from all social medias, so if there's people you want to be in contact with, and you're only in contact with them via social media, those things are going away in 2021. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm sure I'm going to have to be doing a lot of platform diversifying if I want to continue speaking to ye good folk. So all of these things are coming, and a mountain more nonsense than I will not be able to predict. Remember your ABCs. Always be cool. Remember that the Most High God, who sits in the lofty place, who inhabits eternity, is in charge. Not Trump, not Biden, not Lucifer, not Zuckerberg, not Elon Musk, not the crazy lady from Georgia, Stacey Abrams, who they're now putting on communion candles, or the candle, the Santeria candles that like Caribbean Catholics burn. We're in the throes of idol worship. So I, for one, am excited about 2021, but I feel like I have a little bit different perspective than most. I'm probably worried for everyone else more than me. So say your prayers, take your vitamins, remember your ABCs. God bless you. Like this video, share it, subscribe.